Welcome to Scenario, a section of my channel where I narrate a fictional story fully developed by me. As friends play out different characters, their actions and their decisions affect the grand story for everyone else. This can be compared to many role-playing games, except ours is purely theater of the mind, as some may call it. With no dice, no rules, just pure imagination. Now, let's immerse ourselves into the latest story. A lot more energy there, huh? Mm-hmm. Now I need my silly voice. I need something real.
Devolution. It is the year 2051, and as the human race corrupts its only planet, global warming becomes a reality, not a prediction. The world as we know it ages closer and closer to its end. The days before Jesus' return are closing in at a rapid pace, and suddenly, God throws a pebble into the lake we call science and sends groundbreaking ripples through our established understanding. The glaciers, as we did predict, melt down completely, and as a result, ocean levels rise rapidly. Over the next few years, flooding wipes out many states, countries, and lands across the world, greatly changing borders and geography. This affected millions who are forced out of their homes and need to move inward to dry lands. But different governments shut off their borders and force people to stay in coastal, flooded out lands. Following, the temperatures actually drop and crazy weather patterns sweep across the world. In another phenomenon, oxygen levels actually increase. This causes overgrowth in plants, insect growth to reach prehistoric proportions. Beasts, mammals, and fish devolve to prehistoric forms. The term devolve was once said to be an impossible scenario, yet rapid DNA changes said otherwise. Our story picks up with our protagonist learning how to survive in a world that's just been flipped on its head. Unpredictable weather, giant insects, and ungoverned battles.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So, just to give a recap over everything, you're in a world that is very similar to this world that we're in now, set into the future, about, I believe, 30 years from now. You're about the age that you are now, or a little bit older. You personally have a very successful multimillionaire business or multi-million-dollar business where you are doing your hair and your designs, your hair designs and your nail designs and things like that, designs by Destiny Business. Um, and the world just got flipped on its head. The global warming, quote unquote, theories and all that are proven to not be theories but real life, as the polar ice caps have all melted and the water levels have drastically uh risen or are being told that they're going to drastically rise. And a lot of the coastal states and cities have been flooded out. You live not on a coastal state, but you're in Pennsylvania, so you live like a state or two within. Um, my geography is probably a little off, but anyway. Um, so you didn't deal with the vast destruction of the slow flooding process. And the flooding wasn't in one like overnight, but over the course of a year or two in those bordering coastal states, the water is up to a lot of people's chest. Whereas for some of the interstates like yours, the water's just kind of up to well, it was up to ankles and now it's gotten up to people's waist. In some areas it might be chest, but it's nowhere near as bad as whereas like the most shallowest part in the bordering states, the water's pretty high. But anyway, I'm getting too caught up on that. So you recruited into one of your main buildings, and you shut down your business for a while because no one was thinking about getting hair and stuff done. Everyone was in survival state. You begin to operate out of your home, became flooded out or not livable. So you begin to operate inside one of your main office buildings. It's a skyscraper, and you stocked up on food, lots of water. You got in with some inside deals with a lot of retail shops. Then you begin to buy guns because, along with the water level increasing, bugs begin to increase in size. And as people are starting to deal with this vast expansion of bugs and big bugs growing everywhere, they needed ways to defend themselves. So you end up getting some guns from the local gunsmith, befriended that person, um, stocked up on ammo, learned how to shoot guns properly. Then you created you networked with a lot of people. Like I say, you networked with the retail shops. You also networked with the guns, the gun shop owner who hooked you up with a gunsmith or weapon um master in general, who created sort of a prototype lightsaber, if you will, as it's been done in real life. He created a plasma sword that operates off of a chemical, um, and is great for burning off mosquitoes, which you've had to deal with before. During this same process, you also met a professor or a scientist, Mr. Benton, who started off with talking to you and asking you on a business level if he would if you would allow him to use your old buildings that are underwater, flooded out, but they're still technically your property. If you would allow him to use that without telling anybody for his scientific discoveries and things that he's and experiments and things that he's doing, and in return he would hook you up with whatever you needed. You all made a pretty good deal. He gave you or created for you, the first thing that you was worried about, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, was a house that can be off the ground, or a flying house.
Yes,
So he
that's
created
correct.
more of a spaceship kind of thing, although it can't really travel in space, but it can travel high enough to float around the Earth's atmosphere or the Earth's orbit. Although you barely use it. As a matter of fact, we've yet to talk about you going there, but we can get there when we get there. Let's see what else. You all begin to build a relationship outside of just being friends, a more of an intimate connection with each other, uh having trust, and also still having that business mindset with each other. He helps you also making another type of prototype plasma saber for you. So you have two different types in which you utilize and see which one works best for you. One is kind of battery operated, the other is chemical operated. And he created a suit for you that helps you against bug stings. It's a thin, kind of almost like a leather suit, but it's made out of material that very similar to how we already have material that keep from knives cutting through, not chain metal, although we have that as well. But they have different type of material that will keep from knives like cutting through. It is very similar to that, where it keeps the bug stinger from being able to penetrate without the stinger breaking before it can fully. Um, then recently, you as the years have kind of gone by. Oh, that's what I forgot to say. You sent care boats to many states, emergency care boats to many states, providing them with food and medical supplies. Um, yeah, that was really cool. Recently, you teamed up with a media or a marketing team that helped try to get your business back on the forefront. And after things are more calmed down and people are starting to get used to this new world they're in. Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay. And recently you had the privilege of doing Nicki Minaj's hair. And she went on live stream and got everybody hyped for your business. We had people like Cardi B and a whole bunch of other different rappers and singers and artists lining up, booking you for the next several months, ready for you to do their hair. Nikki also asked for a crazy style where you mix the remainings of a bug that you had to kill, a giant bug, and put it into her hair. It was her, not your choice. It was her choice. But yeah, so I believe that's the recap on everything. And of course, most recently, you were told by the professor, the scientist, that he wanted to meet with you. He texted you saying he needed to meet with you on another business matter. So before I get started on my part, is there anything that I forgot, or is there anything that um you remember working on that I wasn't? Yeah, like I said, I forgot, I guess.
No, I just know that I have multiple weapons, like multiple guns, and
Uh-huh.
they all did different things. I think I wanted a shotgun that sprayed more than what a normal shotgun sprays.
And I remember the gunsmith going over how a sawed-off shotgun does exactly that. It sprays in a wider area, but if you just want more pellets to fly out in general, then yeah, he would have made you a souped up shotgun. So to
Yeah,
say,
I'm
this
pretty sure it was
makeshift
more pellets.
new gun altogether. So what's the first thing it says on that paper?
Controlling or growing within your new fame from Nikki and Cardi.
Oh, one more thing. You also went around and grabbed trees before they went extinct because a lot of plants are being
Oh
completely
yeah.
drowned out as well as animals. You grabbed trees, you had them planted at the top of your building, at the top of your skyscraper where they're exposed to the sun and can get rain, and then you had a water system hooked in there. Um, and then you had to battle off giant bees because they started you're like the only plant life in the whole city. So after like a
And I
few
used
months,
like this type of bomb.
huh?
I used like this type of bomb, right?
I remember you created for Bugs Period this it was like a gas bomb that's made with vinegar, I believe. Was it vinegar or something else? I can't remember. And
I
you
think
use
with
that to
vinegar,
kind
I
of
don't
ward
remember
off the
either.
bees, but then you made the decision to let the bees stay there and just block off your vents so that they won't enter your building, but let the bees stay there so that they can flourish um your trees so that your trees bloom more. So you got like a beehive essentially at the top of your building.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So now going back, like you said, so the first thing on there is growing your fame after Nikki and Cardi. So yeah, what are things that you would want to do now with your business to further this? Would you push forward all the way and take on every booking you can to keep growing money? Or would you do it just in a controlled way? Like what? Just tell me everything you would want to start doing with your business now.
Well, if I'm booked up for months, then I'm basically just taking care of that, staying on top of what I need for that. Um, Probably contacting my clients to see what they want so that I have everything for them and they're not like Cardi last minute wanting bug juices. I mean, Nikki. And I think that would be it on that aspect. The marketing is
Mhm.
already done, and I'm sure all of my clients would post when they come get their hair done.
Got you. And I can't remember if I told you this or not, but the marketing team wanted to use um this new technology because there's so much. I don't know if I've described in detail to everybody the atmosphere, but the atmosphere is very polluted right now, and there's so many clouds that there's this new orbiting technology or technology with these little orbiting balls that go out and they project holographs across the sky, and that's how ads are done now. Really is for emergency messages, but they want to do it, get a hold of it, and start um promoting ads about your business. You will probably be the first business to start using them as advertisements versus emergency broadcasting.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay. So now you
Be
could
a
just
different
look
type
up
of
and
shock value because they look up thinking something's wrong and they're like, oh, sweet. She's
uh-huh.
just advertising about her business.
So it's kind of like, you know, how in some of the cyberpunk movies and stuff, how you have the neon signs in the future, but instead of it
Yeah.
being a neon sign, it's this neon bright light emitting in or projecting across the clouds in the sky. So it can
Like
be anywhere you
joy,
go.
but in the sky.
Like what?
Like joy, but in the sky instead of like on top of buildings.
Yeah. Yeah. Took me a second to remember what you was talking about. What's before I get to that, what's the next thing on the list?
Keeping up with my guns and weapons.
Okay. And that was just something I want you to think and be aware of, because that is something that you would have to fit into your routine. So tell me, how often do you break apart all your guns and clean them out? Because the gunsmith would have told you, and the different people that you network would have told you, that if you don't keep up with these guns and clean them out properly and stuff like that, they can clog at the worst time, or jam. I mean, clog. They can jam at the worst time, and you'll end up. It could be a life or death situation. So, how often would you break apart all your guns and clean each part and put them back
Every
together?
day that I need to use them. So like at the end of the day.
Got you. So, okay. Well, what if you go weeks without needing to use them? For
Then once a
example, if
week.
you're okay, because I about to say, for example, if you're booked a lot, then you're probably staying in a lot, dealing with clients and not going out as much. So once a week, you would make sure that you okay, cool. Um, what's the next thing on there?
Keeping up with your big building, properly checking for bugs and openings.
Yes, okay, perfect. Because that was the next thing on my mind. So you haven't seen anything in your main area, but you have a huge skyscraper building. So I don't have a direct specific, I don't think, already down, but we could say it's about 20, 30 floors. It's pretty tall. So how would you make sure, because you eventually will start seeing a pickup on bugs as you get a more traffic of people going there, because now
I
bugs are going
would
to be more attracted, and you have a storage of food that you've had to deal with ants and cockroaches before trying to go after.
I'd probably set up cameras on each floor and each corner of the roof,
Mm-hmm.
and I would put like four different spray like sprinkler systems, only they emit the vinegar.
Got you. So in the middle of the ceilings, you put sprinkler. You'll have your sprinkler system, because they will. Now I know saying sprinkler system, but I know what you're talking about. They look like those. So I forgot the actual name of them, but when there's a fire and it
Yes.
shoots out the water, but you would hook them all up to rig them all up to shoot out vinegar.
Yes.
So if you do have a fire, you're just screwed. um,
Vinegar would make that worse, right?
I don't know. I guess you could just set up two different systems, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that I would have like a Rube Goldberg machine set up for fires on a fire extinguisher.
Okay, so you're gonna hijack you rig your already established fire system, but to rig it up to shoot vinegar, and then you're gonna create a new fire system by getting fire extinguishers and doing this over elaborate Rube Goldberg machine. So no matter where you are, you can somehow set it off, and it will have a chain reaction that will then shoot the fire extinguisher, the whatever is in there,
Foam stuff.
foam
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Okay. So we'll
You have
say,
to be prepared.
yep. I mean, that's one way, I guess, to be prepared. So we'll say that you go on YouTube again and you look up elaborate um systems like that, and you get everything set up, and plus once your business starts growing, people want to do stuff for you, because right now, even though you have all the money, there's a lot of places that need to be fixed and a lot of people that got money. So they're not trying to really help somebody that's just like, oh, well, yeah, you're not, they're more of helping government officials and stuff like that when it comes to getting
They're
contractors
like,
to actually build
you're not
stuff for you.
essential.
Yeah. The contractors that build stuff are just like, yeah, you're not essential. And last time you had the contractors change your skyscraper for the trees, they charged you double what they normally charge.
Right.
Or that's what you had to pay them. So yeah, it makes sense that you would rig all this up and do it yourself. That's smart.
Yeah, because if I'm in my salon and something is going on up at the top, I want to be able to see it on my camera and know what's going on, whether I need to drop the vinegar or drop the fire extinguisher, and not have to like leave my clients or my clients and like run up all these different flights of stairs.
Yeah. All right. So what is next on the well, before we move on to what's next on the list, I would say that as you're installing the cameras and going through and everything else, you do see that at the bottom floors, because I remember that's right, you don't really go through your building through the bottom floors because they're flooded out and your entry is on like the 5th floor or something. On the bottom floors though, you see that there's a not ants this time, but cat-sized cockroaches.
Ew.
Mm-hmm. That have
waiting to pull that one
infiltrated. Oh yeah, that have infiltrated your building. They're on the level with the water, going in and out of the water, like they're living in the lower floors. And they seem to have found some sort of vent that leads to where you have your food at. Of course, before this you didn't see, but now you see exactly where they're going. And then I'm assuming you will go back up to where your food is stored at and see that they have been chewing from the other side, the vent, trying to break through that vent. So what do you do about your new lovely cockroach, cat-sized cockroach problem? Oh, and they do flutter their wings sometimes and fly.
Stop. No one asked for that.
Just to top it off.
No one asked for that.
Might need a little battle music here. Hold on. And really what I want to know what you do is, because I know you can just go get your guns and start shooting, but you do have the issue of, just shooting up your place constantly, as well as how to permanently fix a situation, being that it looks like most of them are living underwater. So that's really what you got to think of. If you don't have an answer for that right now, that's fine. We can go back to it. But yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I have this idea where I want to cover up the vent somehow, but I also want to inject something in the water first.
Ooh.
So I think I need to do some YouTube research first.
All right. So you start YouTubing and looking up what type of, I'm assuming something that'll be toxic enough to inject in the water to affect them. And other than finding people that say just buy up as many Raid cans as you can, which you now know, I mean, those are all gone. That been happening on the first day of this nightmare. You found some chemical that they're saying helps destroy these big bugs, but you still got to go out and get your hands on it. You could probably reach out to me or, my scientist character, or to one of your other connects, retail store man or whatever. But it's going to be a while. So what do you want to do for right now as a temporary fix until you're able to get that chemical and go back down there?
Try and seal off that vent somehow.
How?
I don't know. Do I have like wood around anywhere?
You still have wood, because I remember you blocked
go
off
old school and do that.
Yeah, we'll say you still have wood because you blocked off a section from some ants a long time ago at the bottom, towards the bottom of your building. But you would see in those videos that the cockroaches can shoot through wood.
Okay.
These big versions, anyway.
Okay, well, it's taking them a while to even get to the vent, so I will do, say, 3 different layers on top of each other, and I should be figured out,
Gotcha.
what I'm gonna do by then.
Okay, cool. All right,
And
what's
maybe
next?
they'll only get through like 1 layer at least.
Yeah.
But it says keeping up with my giant house / spaceship.
Yeah, that thing that you haven't visited since it was made for you.
Well, because what do I need to get in it for? No emergencies have happened in my building yet.
I don't know. You wanted it. Maybe to have a comfortable...
I wanted to be prepared.
Got you. Okay, that's
smart. So
smart.
I guess I can go in there and I can fill it with like doomsday stuff.
Fill it with what?
Like doomsday stuff.
Got you.
I'll set up a little mini salon in there, a little emergency salon just in case. Oh crap, guys, we gotta leave because something's about to happen to this building. You can finish your hair over here and then get you safe.
Dedicated to her business right there. She said in a doomsday, I'm gonna need a salon so I can continue my business. Even when full doomsday is here. Love it. Okay,
Yeah, it can't
so
be somebody with half a head because the world's going crazy. They can't have the world going crazy with half a head.
right? They gotta look they absolute best. That can be part of your slogan, your next marketing campaign. It says, while the world is going crazy, you can't be walking around with half a head. Boom. Okay, so when you get into your ship, you see that it's programmed to recognize you, and it's almost like an AI kind of system where the more you keep talking to it, it's responding to you and getting used to what you like, from how you want your temperature set up, um, to what passwords you want on doors and everything else, getting used to the sound of your voice and your voice alone. It sets up a several um, kind of security thing with you, several layer security thing. Whereas to get even through the front door and then into certain important rooms inside your spaceship house thing, you don't need it needs not only your voice and but a few other secret passwords and a whole bunch of other different things set up so that no one can just force you um up there. It also has, so you see that Dr. Benson really set this thing up pretty good. They also have a an
Can it be
extra.
set up to where, like, if I do some different type of like body reaction that's not what they're requesting, that it senses that I need help?
Yeah, actually, I was just about to get into that. That's funny that you said that. So I was gonna say that it's gonna have a system of passwords that are absolute, like everything is in the clear, and passwords that mean that not everything is not in the clear, that it will act like it is while either alarming someone like me or my character, I mean, or alarming other parts of the house to go into defense mode. But in your area, everything will still act as if you just set the correct password and stuff like that. So yeah, there are things that it sets up, from things that you can just say, to if it's saying a password at a door, green, saying the password 123 means everything is good to go. But saying the password 1234 means that it's going to pretend like everything's good to go while going into extreme defense mode. Um,
Nice.
it comes with a bunch of guns and turret systems set up in the house. So if you're dealing with somehow bugs way up there, it's able to clear house. Basically, it has several gas masks and a gas system in the house, very much to how you rigged up your um your sprinkler system. It has an automatic gas system to gas out any bugs in there, and it comes with, like I said, plenty of gas masks so that you stay clear and all your guests stay fine. Um, and it has a specific type of gas, if you will, that can only be charged at space stations or at my laboratory.
Okay.
So you would need that type of fuel, and it doesn't use the fuel constantly. Once it's in orbit, it's just an orbit. But if you want to navigate, let's say you want to come back down on Earth, you need the gas to be able to push yourself back down to Earth. If you want to navigate to a different part of Earth before you push yourself down, you need the gas because it ignites the different engines. And of course, your spaceship is covered in different um, thrusters so that you're able to go into any direction you want. But again, it can't really travel into space. You just go to Earth, although it looks like it could have some potential maybe to go to the moon, but he's already advised you not to try and go anywhere outside of Earth's orbit.
Okay.
Now, so you get used to your house. Anything you want to call it?
Not yet.
All right. What's the next thing?
It says squatters, homeless men are taking shelter at the base of your building and the first unflooded floor.
Okay. So, like I said, a lot of your building is already underwater, but surrounding your building, you have kind of a platform that you had set up a long time ago. That way, you're able to walk up to your building at least to get into that first available window, if you will, to be able to enter your building. That platform that's hovering over the water is crowded with a lot of homeless people who are taking a shelter. Um, Now, I specified homeless men because I wanted to see how you was reacting this. So tell me, what do you do in this type of situation?
Um, well, I don't want to be like a creep, but I have cameras on my floor, so I'm gonna see like what he's doing, and if he's just trying to like have a place for shelter, then I would go give him like a little small care package and let him know that he has one day to be there and before he needs to find something else, since this is a business building and it's not just abandoned.
There's several men. Like there's about that's what I meant. Like it's completely taken over. The outside part has about 20, and then they've made their way inside the building with another like 10. And it seems to happen overnight.
Okay, care packages, still same thing. They got a day to find something else. Be nice about it. Like this is not abandoned building. This is my building.
Well,
Sorry, you can't stay here.
they tell you they're sorry. They were living inside another actual abandoned skyscraper building, but some government people just came through and cleared it all out and said they're doing something with the building, even though it's been abandoned for years, and they don't really have a place to live because they actually come from the outer states. So they don't have their own home within this interstate. So there's not too many places they have to live.
Okay.
They're like, we
Well,
couldn't
if they're
find
all
something, we'll be
comfortable
on our way,
staying
but
on the
we really
same
don't have.
floor, then they can stay there.
Okay, so you just move them. Do you move them on that floor or move them to a different floor so it's not the first thing people see when they come in?
I guess move them to a higher floor.
Okay, because you got like 30 floors, but that first floor that's available is going to be the first floor people see when they come in until they hit the elevator to go to your salon floor.
Okay. I'll be like floor 20 and
Huh?
they can be,
Oh,
I said
okay.
I'll be like floor 20, they can be like floor 25.
Okay, got you.
So like they're not too close where they could still be heard.
Okay. Do they still only have a day, or you giving them like this can be
No,
their
they can
place?
stay there. That's why I said like if they're all comfortable staying in the same floor, then they can stay. But it's not gonna be no, oh, I needed my own floor type of stuff.
All right, cool. All right, so that's interesting because I really was interested to know how you would respond. I was like, if I make it women and children, I feel like you automatically are going to welcome the men. But I want to see if that same heart would be there if it was just men. Because of the situation. It's just like with this type of situation, men, women, or children, they all in the same category as far as
Hmm.
just screwed. So shows you got some heart. You got some heart.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so a few weeks go by and some men come to you and they have one of the men amongst them. He's all beaten up, bloody face, bruises. And then they drag another man and he's all beaten up, bloody face and bruises. And they tell you that this guy steps up and he's kind of like the voice of everyone. He's the same one that told you their situation when he first got there. We're gonna say his name is um Larry. And he tells you that these other two men had ill intentions, but they had planned on trying to take you, if you get what I'm saying. And he just wasn't having it. So he beat them
Bruh.
up, and the rest of the group beat them up. Um, and he's asking what you want to do with him, because everyone else is like, let's kill him because they don't play that. But he's just like, well, this is her building. We shouldn't probably kill these people in her building.
Yeah, that would be nice. Um, are we close to a large body of water?
Oh, your entire building is surrounded by water.
Okay, so I'll order one of those boats with a motor that doesn't last that very long,
Mm.
and I'll put them on the boat, and wherever the motor stops, it stops.
Well, how do you know the men are just like, how do we know they ain't gonna try and come back?
Security will be updated as soon as they leave. Do not worry about that. If they come back, then you may handle it the way that you prefer.
Gotcha.
But we're gonna do this route now. So I feel like I did my part
All
on
right.
trying to
So
peacefully resolve this.
you see that, whereas there are some dog men out there, the rest of these men had your back, and hopefully that has built a level of almost trust there. Although I wouldn't blame if you still didn't have trust for any of them. But you do see that the one that's kind of the overseer and whatnot, he just wasn't having it. And that a lot of them, they look at that type of activity as just dog behavior. So few of them are hot-headed, and that's what they're like, no, they need to be killed before they come back and do something. But yeah. Um, is there any, now having this situation happen, is there any precautions you put up towards any type of future incident happening? Is there any rules you lay down? Do you have trust more, or do you have less trust now? And you're just like, actually, all y'all need to get the hell out. So for the precautions, you said, or what did you say you would do for further precautions?
I didn't. I'm not
Okay.
sure yet.
To prevent further issues happening, or just to be prepared in case there was ever an issue that happened that involved even the most quote unquote trustworthy of the men in your group, what would you do? Or what would you have set up? Or for the next person who maybe don't get their behinds beat, maybe they beat everybody else up, or maybe they sneak, what would you do to protect you while you're trying to help people?
Well, I feel like at all times I would have a strap on my thigh.
Okay. So I'm gonna stay strapped around these.
I mean, I am a woman. This is
Mm-hmm.
like basically doomsday, so
Yep.
gotta stay prepared.
Oh yeah. All right. So you stay strapped. What about your room where you sleep at night?
Oh, one of those like safe room type doors.
Okay, what about one?
You know what I mean? I want one of those.
Got you. So I guess you could just ask my character then for that. You got to get that from somewhere, you know?
Okay.
And like I said, it's not easy anymore to just hire a contractor to come input things without getting charged double. Um, which leads us to the next thing. My character wanted to meet with you ASAP. So let us begin that. It's a Tuesday morning. It's raining per the usual. And I arrive in my flying car, parking outside of your vehicle. Your building. I step in with my suit, 3-piece suit all done. And I said, we need to talk.
Oh. Sounds serious.
So I know you've been a busy woman, but we need to talk in private.
That's fine. I don't have any plans right now. What's up?
Well, first off, how have you been? Anything new? Anything that you need from me?
Well, I do have a floor of guys on it. They're like kind of like squatters, but actually they got kicked out. So, you know, there's
You're
that.
helping them with a place.
Yeah.
Just be careful with that. Not everyone has the best intentions.
Yeah, I shipped off those with the ill intentions.
You need me, I can leave one or two of my best security men here.
I
At
would
least through
appreciate
the
that.
night shifts. They can just do night shifts here. And that way you can sleep peacefully.
I would like that, but on top of that, I want one of those safe room doors for my room, like for my floor.
All right. I can get you one of those as well. I'll have them install that in the morning. Listen, I appreciate you for your constant trust you've had with me, even though I don't tell you my full business. I do want to go ahead and come clean about some things. I didn't want to fully involve you with this because I don't need you to be at stake of any endangerment. But that's a kind of a foolish way of thinking anyway, being that you're helping me, so you're just as much in endangerment as you would be knowing or not knowing. The reason why I use your old buildings is because I'm working on future technology that can actually help this world. What's the danger in that, you may ask, is the fact that a lot of companies out there and corporations and scientists are working on ways to help this world, but they're doing it for profit. And I don't plan on making a profit out of it. I purely just want to help these people out here. The issue is I feel like they'll try to stop me, shut me down. So I've been doing all of this in secret. I've turned your buildings that are now underwater into facilities where I'm able to just continuously work on the products I'm making and the technology I'm making. Because bottom line is, this might feel like doomsday, but it's not doomsday yet. We're definitely going to come out of this. This technology is constantly growing. The issue is, when technology grow, will it leave millions upon millions behind because they don't have the money to afford it? Or will we all be able to grow and all live in a more productive world? That is what I'm aiming to do as much as I can. With that being said, I have gotten wind lately that the military will be making a play. The president is very, very sick. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, but you've been a very, very busy woman, so you may not have been able to. President is very sick, and they're expecting the president to probably die, which is going to leave a gap in power. Obviously, the vice president will fill that, but I'm hearing they're going to take care of the vice president. And when they take care and they make their full play, military play to take over the country, they will be doing it to create order. I know things here in Pennsylvania have been more, I guess you could say, less chaotic or peaceful, but around the country, there's big organizations, racial groups that are rising up with no order, with no government control, and they're wreaking a lot of havoc in people's lives. Even the racial groups that you would think would be for us, some of them are going a little bit above and beyond. And the military wants to cease all of that and gain more control. At least that'll be their excuse for why they'll be fully taken over. This whole democratic system, as we know, is about to completely change. With that being said, they're going to need money. They're going to need to be monetized. They're going to go to the biggest corporations in America to continue to fund them as they go basically to war with the people within America. They're going to start asking the corporations to take over the states. It won't be a governor of Pennsylvania or a mayor of Pennsylvania. It would be a business that owns Pennsylvania. Again, this is stuff that I'm getting from the inside. You can't tell anybody about this or it can get you killed. It can get me killed just talking about it and my inside person. So what I'm asking you to do, if you could stick your neck out one more time, I will help you. I know you have millions of dollars, but I will actually give you the money so it doesn't even make a dent on it. And you make the play for governor of Pennsylvania. With Pennsylvania being locked down in your control, it will make things a lot easier for me to be able to continue to do what I'm doing without having to worry about a corporation controlling what I'm doing and getting their hands into my work. But if you own all of Pennsylvania, you're able to turn certain blind eyes to my work without corporates, well, like I said, taking advantage of and being greedy. I already hear Walmart will be taking over about 10 states. And Amazon, you can only imagine how many they're going to take over. And your business isn't $1 billion business, it's $1 million business. So you're going to be kind of the underdog fighting in this, but I'll give you everything you need. And you're basically going to be in a political campaign fighting to take over Pennsylvania. You will know when the time is getting ready because the military will be at your doorstep doing a cease and control, but they're not going to harm you because you have no issues. You're not a problem. So make sure that these men that are staying with you don't become a problem either. Then the military would think that you're connected to them since they're living in your building. Don't get scared when the military comes. Just play ball, and I think we're going to be okay. If this is too much, because of my, I guess, more or less friendship or relationship I built with you, I really don't want to ask too much of you that could put you in danger or make you feel uncomfortable. But I also know that you're a strong woman who kind of has the crazy side about her that embraces danger. So I figured, what the hell? You're the only person I can trust that has their own corporation. or potential corporation. So what do you think?
Well, what I'm thinking is that how would I do that and my business? Because it sounds like it will be a lot of work.
Yes, I thought about that. I can get you a lot of people that you would either use as workers for your business, who you could train and teach how to do the things that you do, or vice versa. They could just lead your campaign, and you would only have to pull away once every now and then to go do speeches and debates and things like that. But they would basically do all of the work pushing your campaign while you just work on your business full time. Again, any resources you need, I got you. Because it's really me that wants to do this, except for I don't have necessarily a corporation to do so. I'm merely a scientist with my own building, yes, and my own men, but we're not a business, well, like you're a business. So people already have a huge liking towards you because they like your product. I don't have necessarily a product for people to like, not yet anyway. So therefore, I don't have
Okay,
what
well,
the
I can help
world.
you with this.
Sweet, because you have what the world considers now a trusting face or a trusting brand name. And unfortunately, our world is just fully turned into nothing but brands and corporations running everything. I could only imagine what Netflix is going to buy. God forbid Disney gets a hold of Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm done with that voice. It went from something kind of smooth to creepy towards the end. I don't know what I was going for, but more of a dark, serious voice is what I was aiming for. But anyway.
It was getting ominous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So you agreed to do this. This would be a next step or a change in your life as you're looking to completely running control or being the head kind of control person over Pennsylvania. And not fully even knowing how much power will be granted to you because nothing has happened yet. You don't even know what the military is about to do. Um, so yeah, what are your thoughts on all this? Enough of me talking.
It sounds very interesting, and I don't know how I feel about the political part of it yet, but definitely getting all the help that I need would be cool. So it doesn't seem like it'll add too much stress, just like I need to oversee some things.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I put this part in your story because it does make sense because of where the story is gonna go anyway with corporations. And like I said, my story is kind of the beginnings of its own kind of cyberpunk story. And the common thread in cyberpunk worlds is that corporations run everything, right? But being that I know you're not too heavy in politics is another reason why I wanted to challenge you with this political arc, if you will, just
Mm-hmm.
to see, just to kind of mess with you and see how you doing it. Because I'm just like you're definitely capable. I'm eager to see how your mind is gonna work. Um, and I've done leadership kind of stories with you before, and you've definitely excelled in them. So I'm just like, okay, let's see how she likes this level of leadership. And you kind of got your own new squad. Once we're squatters, now they're squads.
Hilarious.
Um. All right. Well, if you don't have any other further things that you want to put in place, the door will get the security man will be there like the next day, starting to watch you overnight or watch your area overnight. The that sounded a little bad, huh? The door or the doomsday door or whatever would be there the next day installed in. Um, your business will continue as usual until while I'm slowly sending you people. But I wouldn't send you anybody. I would tell you that I wouldn't send you anybody yet until the military takes over. Because if I do it prior, then they're gonna know that I know, because they're gonna wonder why anyone is preparing for a campaign this early. It was just too many miles to tell, and things can get out. So I wouldn't even start sending you people to deal with your campaign until until the military has already started their takeover, so that everything is still, on the low, and there's no way of them knowing that I knew ahead of time.
Okay.
So yeah, is there anything that you have on your mind before we end this session?
No, I do not.
All right. The bug slaying, gun strapped carrying, hairdressing, super stylist, multimillionaire woman, soon to be politician. You got a lot on your plate, I see. You got a lot on your plate.
Oh yeah.
Well, this was fun. Thank you for doing this with me once again. And then next time when we come together, we'll see where the story progresses.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you very much, love.
You're welcome.